Hey, what's going on, Party Jet Sports? Welcome back to the channel. It's one of your hosts, Caleb Gill, and I'm back this week. We have another parlay of the week up for you, and I've got a 10-leg parlay again. I know I did a 10-leg parlay 2 weeks ago. I got about 7 out of 10. I'll take 70% on a parlay. Obviously, that doesn't win me any money, but I still felt pretty good about that overall. Another 10-leg parlay this weekend. I know a lot of people will err on the side of caution. Just I'm only betting $5 and $5 to win 20. That's not how I roll. If I'm spending $5, I want to make some decent dough. All right. And sometimes I start getting carried away, truth be told. Like, I start looking at these, I'm like, I like this one, I like that, and next thing you know, I'm at 8, and it's like, well, let's round it up to 10. And that's kind of what happened here. So for your week 10 parlay of the week, again, it's a 10-leg parlay that I put $5 on. We'll recap it all at the end. The first same game parlay that's in this one is the Raiders-Colts game. And I was looking at this one, and you look at these two teams heading into the year, you expected one of these two teams, at least I did personally, I expected one of these two teams to have a high-powered offense, be very good offensively, and the other one I had no expectations for. And the reverse has happened. The Colts offense has been one of the better ones in the league. Daniel Jones is leading a very good offense through 4 weeks. Didn't see that one coming. And the Raiders struggling on offense. Offensive line is terrible. So it's just crazy to see. Like, we're a quarter of the way in, and the thoughts that we had, or at least I had personally heading into this year, how dead wrong I was. But back to this parlay. One of those offensive weapons for the Colts that has been shining is rookie tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Him and Daniel Jones have had a good connection so far. So I've got the over on the receiving yards, 57.5 receiving yards. I'm taking the over on that for him. And I know I'm not the only Tyler Warren fan. Cam just made a trade for him. Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren. Let us know in the comments, actually, if you think that's a fair trade, straight up. Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers. That was a trade, I believe. I don't think there was anything else included in that one that Cam made. It was kind of crazy. But Cam's been trying to get rid of Brock Bowers for weeks now. And it's because he doesn't trust the Raiders offense. I can't say I don't blame him, but Tyler Warren, I think, is going to hit that over mark, 57.5. I'm taking that. Also in this game, speaking of that Raiders offense, Ashton Jeanty, he got his Michael Myers stance back, and now he's cooking. He's a lethal, scary good out there is what he looked like last week. I don't know how much of that he replicates this week, but I do think the over of 66.5 does hit in terms of rushing yards. I think he's able to achieve that, get at least 70. I don't know. I mean, I could see a 100-yard outing for him against the Colts, but I do think ultimately, even if it's not 100, it's going to be like 70 yards. I think 69, 70 yards for him. Nice. We'll see what he does hit, but I do think the over does. And then, back to the Colts, a little flip-flop, switch, or whatever, snip. Jonathan Taylor, I do think he's been a juggernaut. I wasn't sure what to think of Jonathan Taylor heading into this year. I didn't have a lot of opinion. He's a running back that has a lot of miles. So it's taken him a minute to get back going to what he was in the early stages of his career. But right now, he is the focal point of that good Colts offense. I think he hits pay dirt. He's going to get into the end zone this week. So anytime touchdown for Jonathan Taylor. The next game, Cowboys-Jets. You knew I was going to bet on this game, right? I can't. It's a sickness at this point, but I really can't go a week without putting money on the Jets in some way, shape, or form. Never claimed to be a smart man, by the way. I do think, though, in this one, you look at this matchup, and Drew and I talked about this game extensively. We talked about this game a lot because it's both of our teams. It's a Party Chat Sports matchup. And it'll be very interesting to see how both these offenses are because the two defenses are very weak. So on the Jets side, I think Garrett Wilson is going to hit the over 62.5. This seems achievable. The Jets have no weapons. No one in the pass game is a real threat. They use Breece Hall some, but they don't use him in nearly enough. Mason Taylor shined a little bit last week, but Garrett Wilson is going to be a focal point of this offense, especially the pass game, and they can exploit the weaknesses in Dallas or against Dallas at the games in New York. So I think Garrett Wilson's going to hit the over 62.5. On the other side, I thought about taking George Pickens, but that yardage was a little too high for my liking. I like this one a little bit more. One of the Jets' weaknesses, it seems like for the last decade, has been covering the tight end. And the Cowboys have a good one. Hell, Sauce just gave up a touchdown to a tight end that had a rapping career. All right? Like, he's coming back out of retirement and just scored on the Jets. I think Jake Ferguson, his yardage total hits the over as well. 44.5. I've got more than that. I think Jake Ferguson's going to have a good day against the Jets defense. I mean, the linebackers are not good. The safeties aren't good. Everybody that Jake Ferguson's going to be lined up against, he's going to be twice as good as, if not better. So I expect a high output game from Jake Ferguson. So in the Cowboys-Jets in MetLife, over on Garrett Wilson, and then over on Jake Ferguson yard totals. Let's head out to Cincinnati. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this game, but I'm not a big fan of large lines. Like taking, even if I think a team's going to win, I'm usually not a big fan of taking a team that's like double-digit favorites. I think in this case, you can. The Lions are a much better team. They're 10.5-point favorites, and the Bengals just are not that good. They're not good. They have nothing going for them offensively. Defensively, they're not. This is just a bad team. The Lions have the fireworks. They have the explosive weapons. And the last couple weeks, it feels like they figured it out a little bit better. They just dismantled a Browns defense that we were looking at as one of the best in the league. So, and it didn't even look like a great game for the Lions offensively. And they still scored a ton of points. So I think double digits, the Lions do win by double digits. So 10.5-point favorites for the Lions. I'm taking that. I'm taking Lions as 10.5-point favorites. Then also in this game, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be featured a little bit. And his yardage total, I like this one. But not the one you're thinking. I've got receiving yards, 26.5 receiving yards. I got him taking the over on that. I think all it's going to take for him realistically is one screen pass to the house. Or even a screen pass for 30. Or like it could be one play that gets most of those yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's very capable. And I know he's getting a lot of like the short yardage, the red zone touches, but I do think all he's got to do is break one. So, and he's hit the over on this twice so far this season already. He's already hit over 26.5 receiving yards. So I do think he does hit it again against a bad Bengals defense. I already mentioned Darren Waller. With Tyreek Hill out, you know, you have Jalen Waddle, you have Malik Washington for the Dolphins, but it's a whole different ball game, you know, because you don't have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like, Jalen Waddle is going to be fine. He's going to get his fair share of reps. But I do think Darren Waller, he's going to be featured a little bit more. He showed what he can do. He's still capable of a little bit against the Jets, and that was his first game back. So against a bad Panthers team who just lost to the Patriots 42-14, the Dolphins should be able to put up a lot of points. They should be able to have a good offensive game. If they don't, Mike McDaniel's gone. Like, he's not even going to be allowed back in the locker room. And one of the beneficiaries of that is going to be Darren Waller. His yardage total is 29.5 yards. I think that over of that is going to hit. So over 29.5 yards for Darren Waller against the Panthers. This game, I'm excited for. You know, Buccaneers, Seahawks, you have two quarterbacks who've completely revived their careers. The number 1, the number 3 pick from their class back in 2018. Former teammates with the Panthers. And these offenses are clicking for the most part. Like, Sam Darnold has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Baker Mayfield, I think, is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And they have the weapons around him, especially those Ohio State guys. Emeka Egbuka and Jackson Smith and Jigba, they've really gone off and looked good for their teams this year. 44.5 is the total match points that's been given in this game. You bet. I'm taking the over. All right. I'm shooting that up to the moon. Okay. I think these two teams should easily be able to score at least 24. They should be able to score at least 24. If they're not, it's obviously going to be a really good defensive day if that's the case. And they do both have good defenses, but I trust the offenses to be able to score points in this one. Very good offenses. They have the talent. Over 44.5 match points in this one for the Bucks and Seahawks. And this last leg, I just threw in as essentially a booster. Bills money line. Like, the Bills could lose to the Patriots. There's a world where the Bills lose to the Patriots. It's an AFC East matchup. It could happen. I don't think it's going to. The Bills, yes, there was a little bit of a scare last week against the Saints, and I could see them starting off like that again, where, 3 quarters, it's a sluggish game, and then that fourth quarter is where they put the hammer down. Ultimately, I didn't want to bet the points. I think, it's only 2.5 or 3.5 points or something like that. Money line, Bills, that's just thrown in there as a little boost, and also to round this up to a 10-leg parlay. So let's recap that parlay real quick. All 10 legs. In the Colts-Raiders game, Tyler Warren over 57.5 yards receiving. Ashton Jeanty over 66.5 yards rushing. And then Jonathan Taylor for the Colts anytime touchdown. In the Cowboys-Jets game in MetLife, Garrett Wilson over 62.5 receiving yards. And then Jake Ferguson over 44.5 receiving yards as well. I've got the Lions covering 10.5 points against the Bengals. And then also Jahmyr Gibbs catching 26.5 or going over 26.5 receiving yards. Darren Waller also hitting the over. 29.5 is the total for him. I've got him going over that against the Panthers. Buccaneers, Seahawks over 44.5 points, and that game's going to be scored between the two teams. Very high, scoring offenses. So I expect the over to hit. And then as a capper, Bills money line, book it. I feel good about it. We'll see. Hopefully I'm able to get all 10 legs because it's a plus 23,822 odds. So with my $5 bet, if I get it, if I'm cooking something up, and if it's a gourmet meal, that's going to have a total payout of $1,196.11. So hopefully, let's bring that money. Let's bring that money in. Thanks to everybody for watching, for following. Share your parlays as well. Let us know in the comments what you think of this one, the legs that you don't like, some that maybe I could have added. And again, let us know what you're cooking up this week. We're interested in seeing everything. So let us know. You can DM us as well. If you don't want to leave a comment, you can DM us on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're at Party Chat Sports there. You can also check us out and follow us on TikTok, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube. We are, as I always say, anywhere and everywhere, all at Party Chat Sports. Make sure you continue watching, following. We've got tons of content out there. We're going to continue pumping out content. One last disclaimer. Next week's going to be a funky week. Not going to lie. I don't know what we will and will not get out next week because Cam's getting married. Congratulations to those two. I'm excited for the wedding. All 4 of us are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. And again, congratulations to the future Mrs. Cam Braun and, of course, Cam. I'm excited. So, again, should be a good time. But also, we'll see what that brings in terms of content here at Party Chat Sports. We still have if you want to go check out the Monday morning drive from this week, if you want to listen back to what happened in week 4. And then, if you want to preview week 5 of the NFL season, those are all up along with this parlay here at Party Chat Sports. Until next time, happy betting. Peace.